Once upon a time, we measured the distance in darkness. What is spoken will eventually come to light. Water captures your reflection. I capture human interactions. Create human-like conversational dialogue to help you write a blog, to cut down hours of prep that you log. I'm an engineer in marble. Who better to break down the Constitution? Who better to show and explain the revolution? Who better to uncover the truth? Montanna, Uncle Rico, Gerry, Rod. We are a reflection of our country's scars. The Doneson Podcast. Show them who we are.
You know I love you so. We're back, we're here. Let the music take control. The season's here. In case you didn't know, we're glad you're here. I hope you like the show. For many years. Let's start the show.
So I was working very long hours, right? Very, very long hours for a delivery service, which will go unnamed.
Unnamed?
Unnamed.
Okay.
Instead of putting the package on the porch, I saw two vicious dogs
Okay.
by the front door.
So you left it by the curb.
That's right. Well, I was still in the truck. I called the customer. I said, "Sir, man, you have two vicious dogs on the front porch." And I worked long hours. I was super tired, right? Super tired. He said, "Brother, those are statues."
But I'm fun.
It's time for hey, you know what? You've been picking up some thread in these movie reviews and you know areas that you have, man. Let's go ahead and take a look at your new movie role. Let's take a look.
Okay.
One of the greatest movie actors of all time, Uncle Rico, starring in The Negro Who Couldn't Reach It.
Can't reach it. Can't reach it. Man, I ain't tall enough. Can somebody bring me a ladder? A step ladder? I can't reach it. I need some help, please. Help me. Somebody please help me. Hey, I see I can't reach it. I'm just too short. I ain't tall enough. Somebody please come to my aid. Help me. Help me. I can't reach it. I'm trying, but I can't get there. Help me. Help me, Lord. Help me. Help me, Lord. Help me. Please help me. I can't get there. I can't do it. Oh, I need help. Help me, please. Somebody please help me. I can't reach it. And I want it so bad. I want it. But I can't get there. I just can't get there. Oh, please, somebody help me. Please help me. Ah.
In a year where the stock market is booming and the economy is at an all-time high, people are feeling optimistic about the future. But then everything changes. The stock market crashes. What happens when people band together to help each other and find ways to survive? A time of great suffering, but it was also a time of great strength. The people of the United States showed that they could overcome even the most difficult challenges. But you know what? It's time for rapid fire! Montana.
Yes.
What was a series of programs and reforms implemented by President Franklin D. Roosevelt in response to the Great Depression?
The New Deal.
That is correct, Montana! How long did the Great Depression last?
For 10 years.
10 long years.
Yeah.
That's right, Montana!
10 years.
In the United States, unemployment reached what percentage in 1933?
25%.
That is correct, Montana.
It is.
Right. What ended the Great Depression?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
My daddy. No. Hey, no, it's my dad. No, World War II, man.
That's right, That's right. He came in there with a belt. What led to the widespread crop failures and forced many farmers to abandon their land?
That was he did with like his football, Dust Bowl.
That's right, Now, what happened on this date, October the 29th, 1929?
The damn robbing folks, Black Tuesday.
And they turned into a shopping
You
day.
ain't better know it.
He's an innovator.
Have mercy.
He's an innovator.
Now, on October the 29th, 1929, stock prices crashed on what became known as...
Black Tuesday.
That's right. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell below 13%, and investors lost billions of dollars. Good Lord. The stock market crash of 1929 was a major event that had a profound impact on the United States and in the world. It led to the Great Depression. Right, which was a long and difficult period for many people. The crash also taught us a valuable lesson about the dangers of speculations and overvaluation, right? We can always get in trouble with that. The year is 1929. The stock market is booming, and the economy is in a full-time high, right? People are feeling optimistic about the future, but then on October 29th, everything changed. The stock market crashed, and the Great Depression began. The Depression was a time of great economic hardship for millions of people, even for those who caught the flu, if you know what I mean. They catch a cold, we catch the flu.
You know
All right?
what?
Businesses closed, jobs were lost, and families were forced to go hungry. People lost their homes and their savings. The Depression had a devastating impact on the country, and it would take years for the economy to recover. Are you prepared if the world has another Great Depression?
Let me see. I got my shotgun,
I know that's right.
ARK. Y'all think I'll be all right? No, but hey, man, I would hate to even live through something like that. My parents did because they were born in the 20s, you know. But hey, man, wow. I done heard so many stories about that.
What was the horror story that you heard?
Stomach growling.
What?
Yeah, a lot of stomach growling, man. People starving, man. It was hard. I just listened to my mom and dad talk about it. But at the end of the day, I don't know if you can be prepared for something like that. All you can do is, I don't know, man, you just gonna try to survive, man. You know? But like I said, I still got my shotgun.
I know that's right. Period.
Don't you mess with mine.
Right.
All I want is some bread.
Yeah.
Can I get some of your corn
Only got
bread?
3 holes left. You can't have one of these.
Well, Unc say you gonna get some bullets.
Yeah.
You want some bread.
What you said.
Now, first we must understand some key components of how the Great Depression started. Gerry, take off.
Let me jump in real quick, cuz. Inflation is a general increase in prices and a decrease in the purchasing value of money. For example, let's say you buy a dime bag for $10 today. In 1 year, the price of weed has increased to $10.50. This is inflation. Your dollar is not worth as much as it used to be. So you have to pay more for the same gallon of milk. Wait a minute. I think I just had a Biden moment.
Correct, Gerry. Inflation can be caused by a number of factors, including increased demand. If demand for goods and services increase, but the supply does not, prices will rise. This is because businesses can charge more for their products if people are willing to pay it, right? Now, here are some examples of goods, just in case y'all don't know what goods are. A Bugatti is a good. A Mac Pro is a good. Fendi Sunshine tote bag is a good.
Okay.
A cowboy stick at your favorite restaurant is a good.
Okay.
Hamlet by William Shakespeare is a good. An example of services like a haircut, a doctor's appointment, a car wash, a restaurant meal, a house cleaning, and an ass whooping is considered a service.
Call it what well deserved.
Gerry,
That's right, cuzzo. If the cost of producing goods and services increase, businesses will pass on those costs to the customers in the form of higher prices. Even the hoes at the strip clubs want more money.
You know what?
Correct, cuzzo.
Let's
Let's take a look at another key component, tariffs. Tariffs are taxes that are imposed on imported goods. The United States has imposed tariffs on a whole range of goods and services from other countries. Some of the most notable examples include the tariffs on Chinese goods. In 2018, the Trump administration imposed tariffs of 25% on $250 billion worth of Chinese goods. These tariffs were imposed on the grounds that Chinese were engaging in unfair trade practices. Tariffs on Russian goods in 2023, that's this year. The Biden administration imposed tariffs of 25% on $340 million worth of Russian goods in response to Russian invasion of Ukraine. All right, now Montana. If you could use tariffs for dating, how would you do it? So you know tariffs is like, hey, if you do this, in order to get back in, I'm gonna put tariffs on you.
I mean, I
You
think,
get what I'm saying?
I think women use tariffs now.
They do.
Use what you got to get what you want.
Could you please explain a little bit on that?
I mean,
please?
I think ultimately it's like a give and take. So it's almost like it's a boundary in place. Like until you spend X amount of money.
What? You giving us the real?
Yeah, you can't cross this line to
Do y'all
to
really
make
have
the
like?
first, second,
Do y'all
third.
really have like
this
this
is all
in your
alleged.
head?
This is all alleged.
Allegedly,
This is
okay.
allegedly. But I think that everybody has levels seriously of like, you know, what they will allow. Because if you're being for real, as time first date, things happen, second date, third date. You know, if it carries on from there. So say you go from date 1 to 5.
Right.
You know, it's gonna be different tariffs that are imposed for you to get past first base,
First,
second base,
third
that
base.
involve how much that Fendi bags you buying, how much money you spending, how many bundles you buying. You know, you gotta, you know, it's pay the cost to be the boss,
Watch out now.
the big boss.
Hey, you know, when I go out, I don't mind buying combos.
You should buy
Not
what?
bundles, I buy combos. You hear me up?
You know what? I don't know who you going out with. Them vicious dogs you talked about earlier.
Now, first, tariffs can increase the cost of imported goods, which can lead to higher prices for consumers. Second, tariffs can make it more difficult for businesses to import the inputs they need, which can lead to higher production costs and higher prices for goods and services. Third, tariffs can create uncertainty in the market, which can lead to businesses raising prices in order to protect their profits, right? Yes, a president can cause future inflation. Gerry.
Like Denzel said in Training Day, I'm putting tariffs on all you bitches.
You
Pretty
so
much.
right, Gerry.
Pretty much.
Now we are almost finished with the recipe called the Great Depression. So this brings us to the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act of 1930, which raised tariffs on imports to record levels, right? This act is considered to be one of the worst economic mistakes in American history. The act helped to prolong the Great Depression and cause widespread economic pain around the world. It targeted a wide range of goods, including agriculture products, manufactured goods, and raw materials.
Cuzzo, this gets really deep because the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act was intended to protect American businesses and farmers from foreign corporations. However, the act has had the opposite effect. It has led to regulatory tariffs from other countries, which has caused a decline in global trade. This decline in trade contributed to the Great Depression.
You're so smart, cuzzo. All right, now the following countries were particularly affected: Canada, Britain, Germany, and France. These countries were the most heavily affected countries by the Tariff Act. The act led to a decline in exports to the United States, which was caused by a recession in each one of these countries. In case you didn't know, a recession is 2 consecutive quarters of negative gross domestic product, GDP growth, right? GDP is the total value of all goods and services produced in a country in a given period of time. So if GDP declines for 2 consecutive quarters, which is 6 months, that means that the economy is shrinking. For example, the GDP of the United States in 2023 is 19 trillion, which means that the total value of goods and services produced in the United States in 2023 is 19 trillion, okay? The GDP of China in 2023 is estimated to be at 18.6 trillion. Japan, 5.1 trillion. Germany, 4.2 trillion. India, 3.1 trillion. Brazil, 1.8 trillion. Goods and services are important to the economy because they satisfy people's wants and needs. Goods provide physical products that people can use, while services provide intangible benefits that people can enjoy. But more significant factors that contribute to the Great Depression, including, I guess, those who trade stocks, is speculation. In the years leading up to the crash, there were a great deal of speculations in the stock market. This means that people were buying stocks not because they believed in the companies, but because they thought they could sell them for a profit. Overvalued stocks. Many stocks were overvalued in the years leading up to the crash. That means that they were trading for more than they were worth based on the company's fundamentals. All right. Margin buying. Check this out, Many investors were buying stocks on margin. This means that they were borrowing money to buy stocks. If the stock prices went down, they would have to sell the stock to repay the loans, which would drive down the prices even further. And lack of regulations. The financing system was not as regulated in the 1920s as it was today. This allowed for a great deal of risky behavior, which contributed to the crash, right? So guess what?
What's that?
What?
A sell-off in the agriculture sector, right? There were a number of factors that caused the sell-off in the agriculture sector in 1929, including overproduction. This is very, very important because I had a lot of family in Arkansas that kind of sort of went through this. Overproduction, farmers were producing more crops than they could sell, all right? Declining prices. The oversupply of agricultural goods led to declining prices. This made it difficult for farmers to make a profit, and many were forced to sell their land or go bankrupt. Debt. Many farmers were in debt. They borrowed money to buy land, equipment, and seed, and they were struggling to repay their loans. All right? The run on the banks. As stock prices fell, people begin to withdraw their money from the banks, which is natural, right? Right? This caused a run on the banks, which led to the banks failing.
Let me step in here for a second, cuzzo, if I may speak. A run on banks is a situation in which a large number of depositors withdraw their money from a bank at the same time. This can lead to a decline in demand for loans from banks, which made it more difficult for banks to stay afloat.
That's right, cuzzo. I appreciate that. Now, the Black Tuesday crash on October 29th, 1929, stock prices crashed on what became known as Black Tuesday. We know that, right? The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell below 13%. Investors lost billions of dollars. So the Great Depression was a dark time in American history. Montana. Was there anybody in your family that you remember that was affected by the Great Depression?
What year was it again?
1929.
I forgot that fast. My grandparents were born like 1919, 1920.
They were
so
affected,
I'm
man.
assuming that they were affected as children.
And what I mean, how they were like teaching you, like was any teachings coming from that? Like, hey, save your money to now that was passed on from generations to where you.
I would say if I think about it, if I had to connect a dot from what they probably got from their parents to how I was growing up, like my grandparents raised me, and so they were so much so about start a business, have your money lined up, get rental properties. They were very much so like get your money in order. They were also very much so like go to college and get an education. I can shout out to my family. Every one of my siblings and all of my nieces, all 8 of them have all college degrees. Like education was pushed to the forefront for us.
Can I stop you right there?
Yeah.
Can you do this? Can you name out all 8 right now?
Yeah. So I'll go down. My niece Angel graduated from Columbus State University. I'm going real fast. Aaliyah graduated from Florida A&M University. Akila graduated from Ole Miss. Andrea graduated from Fish University. Miracle graduated from Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. My niece Alexis graduated from Florida A&M University. Who else am I missing? I'm missing somebody in there.
That's two. You only
No,
named
look.
two, huh?
I missed two. I can't think right now. I can't think. I got up 6. I got up there.
You got 6. You got 6. Yeah.
But it was pushed forward for us to be educated. That's something my grandmother did not play with because she saw that knowledge was absolutely power. So now that I think about it, initially I was like, well, I don't know. But yeah, she saw the power in being educated because education is something that nobody can take from you.
Right.
So if I'm educated, I can go out and start the business. I can understand money. I can function in this world no matter, because she comes from a time where we didn't always have the rights that we have now.
Right.
So she fully understood for us to be prepared to navigate through life. And she definitely instilled that in us, and I'm that way now. Like, I'm the person, I'm like an old lady. I have a check register. I sit down, I do my budget every month. I get down to the penny. I live by, the balance down to 0. I don't carry a lot of debt outside of my house and student loans.
Yeah.
I incorporate some of his stuff. He needs to update some of his stuff, but I do incorporate some. But so to answer your question, to go back to it, absolutely. When I think about what they saw growing up and what they instilled into us, it's absolutely how I function. So I think about when you asked Unc that question earlier, like, would you be ready for something like that? I agree with Unc. You really can never be ready in a sense. Yeah. But I do try to live by the mantra that people tell you, like, if you lost your job today, do you have like 6 months worth of funds saved up to take care of yourself? And so I try to stay on that track. So I think I'll be all right for a little while,
I got 6
couple
days.
months. But I'll find somebody to come pay the tariffs.
I just want to say, every one of you listening to my voice,
Oh, God.
tell the world, tell this to everybody, wherever they are. Watch us and listen to us everywhere. Keep listening. Keep watching the skies. Your smart TV, your phone. The Doneson Podcast has arrived.
Of the year, the Doneson Podcast is here. This groove moves your soul. Let's start the show.